So, baby, we were in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
We stayed at the Hampton Inn.
Yeah.
So, I gotta ask you. I'm sorry that I'm already clenching my teeth. But how wheelchair accessible was the Hampton Inn, San Antonio Downtown Hotel?
That was a joke. That was not wheelchair accessible at all. We called 3 months in advance to book this hotel room, and they assured us that it was a roll-in shower, that the beds were wheelchair accessible, that the whole room was wheelchair accessible.
Mm-hmm.
And they show us a picture on the Hampton Inn website that this is what we expect the room to be. And after call, how many times did you call for this exact point?
I booked this hotel about 2.5, 3 months in advance. I said, okay, we were gonna go to another hotel, but we read the reviews and we were like, I don't know about that, and Mom, I can find a better deal. So I find a better deal at another hotel, which is actually right next to that hotel. I didn't realize that though. And I say, okay, I need a wheelchair accessible room with a roll-in shower. So I book. Let's rewind for a second. So I booked this hotel about 2-ish, almost 3 months in advance. And then I say, I need a wheelchair accessible room. I need 2 rooms. One room can be a standard room, and one room has to be a roll-in, needs a roll-in shower. Anyway, they assure me that there is a roll-in shower in my room. They're all, okay, they only have one room left. Would you like this room? I said, yes, I would like this room, please. I need this room in a standard room. And I confirm on the phone with this, or with the booking, while booking, that it was a roll-in shower. I said, yes, you have a one standard room with a king size bed, and one room with a king size bed and a roll-in shower. I said, okay. Thank God, because I was on the phone for about 2 hours because the other hotel we didn't want to go there anymore. So I call again in a couple weeks to confirm my reservation. I said, okay, so I'm confirming that I have one standard room and one wheelchair accessible room with a roll-in shower. Yes, on here we have one standard room and one room with a roll-in shower. Okay. I call again in a few weeks. Because I just want to know that they got my stuff right, y'all. Okay, so I just want to confirm what I have. She says, yes, on here you have one standard room and one wheelchair accessible room with a roll-in shower. Okay. It's time to come. It's about a week or so before on vacation. I call again. I said, I just want to confirm that I have a wheelchair accessible room with a roll-in shower. Yes, ma'am. You have one wheelchair accessible room with a roll-in shower and one standard room. Okay, we're going on vacation. We get to the hotel. Get into the room. We're tired from the mega bus. And the room does not have a roll-in shower.
Well, first of all, we went into the room, and At first, I couldn't even get into the doorway
Yes, it was slightly narrow. Huh?
of the bathroom.
The bathroom.
And then we realized that was not the wheelchair accessible room.
Yes. That was the standard room.
So then we go across the hall, which
Was our room.
is where our room was.
The wheelchair accessible room.
And we roll in. I roll in, she walks in, and bed's fine. I'm ready to lay down. She says, "Hey, check the bathroom real quick." And I said, "Alright." Well, we open the door. The door is wide enough. However, instead of a roll-in shower that I think I'm about to see, there's a whole bathtub.
A tub, y'all.
Tub.
T-U-B. A tub. How did I get from, yes, ma'am, you have a roll-in shower, a wheelchair accessible room with a roll-in shower, to a tub? Y'all, okay, so we're tired because we just came from the Greyhound. We're ready to lay down. We're gonna lay down and then we're gonna go out to eat later. And my room is not prepared properly. I called downstairs and I said, okay, I want to know something. Where is my roll-in shower in my wheelchair accessible room? Because that is what I booked. I booked one standard room and one wheelchair accessible room with a roll-in shower. Ma'am, we don't see a roll-in shower on your reservation. I was all, Jesus, take the wheel. Jesus, please take the wheel, because I booked in advance a wheelchair accessible room with a roll-in shower, because Garland will need to shower in the 4 days that we're in San Antonio. And there's a tub. So my sister, I am on the phone. They say, okay, they're going to get the manager. The manager calls the room about 10 minutes later, 10, 20 minutes later, whatever. And he's all, well, we don't have a roll-in shower, a room with a roll-in shower. Well, that's not what your Google Map says. That's not what your site says. Your site says that you are wheelchair accessible. That means you are accessible to people who are in wheelchairs.
And I know that hotel was built before 1992.
Yes, and this hotel was built after 1992 when...
after 1992.
After 1992. When President George Bush signed the ADA... rules and guidelines for buildings to be wheelchair accessible. So we get on. My sister calls downstairs because they didn't call back, and she's all, okay, this is unacceptable. I'm lit, y'all. I'm tired. We're all hungry, all tired and hungry, and like we can't even rest because now our room's all messed up. Well, one of the rooms is messed up. And so she gets on the phone and it goes all the way to corporate. Well, okay, first they say, we're sorry, there's not one thing that they can do. The hotel's been renovated. Did anybody think about wheelchair accessibility during this renovation? Because it doesn't seem that way. Their site says that they have wheelchair accessible rooms with roll-in showers.
They only have one. Come to find out, they only had one.
Yes, they only had one, which is the room that I was supposed to book. The room that...
in the whole hotel room...
in the whole hotel.
They had one accessible shower.
And I just want to know who dropped the ball, because my fiance is not going to stay in San Antonio and not shower for 4 days. That's completely unacceptable. So my sister's on the phone with all the way up to corporate Hilton. And so my sister gets all the way up the ladder in corporate, and they're all, well, you can book through another hotel.
We're here now.
We're here now! Sorry, Zamunda. She was all, girl, stop your yelling. We're here now. They literally slapped us in the face saying that we could book another hotel. I'm not spending another $600. Now it would be more because the weekend is coming.
And it would have been more money for one room versus 2 rooms.
Yes, and they were saying that they have another room that we could all share this one room that they had. They didn't give us any incentive. They weren't apologetic to the fact that their website says that they're wheelchair accessible, and they're not. Like,
I think we have a screenshot of
yes,
that too.
We have pictures, we have screenshots. Here is the screenshot of what it's supposed to look like. That's the picture on their site and on their Google Maps. And here is what we had. So I want to know who designed this. Because they definitely didn't design it with someone in a wheelchair in mind. How is someone who is paralyzed, like Garland, paralyzed from the waist down, supposed to pick up his legs and get in the tub? If he was staying by himself,
there's no way I would have been.
There would have been no way.
I would have.
It's a shower chair, not a bench
in the tub or outside the tub.
And
because all they had was this little bench seat. That they had, and I'm pretty sure that I probably was past that weight capacity to be on that little thing. I was wobbling, and it just was not the safest.
Yeah, so they bring a bench, which was small, and Garland's all, I'm not gonna fit on that.
Too much booty over here, Judy.
So, okay, so the before we get to the shower chair, we contemplate what on earth are we going to do. We say, okay, we can go to the other hotel and all stay in one room, 4 people to one room, 1 person in a wheelchair, or we can stay here and endure the hell that we have come into. And so we talked about it for a while, which this one room would have cost us more. And my sister asked for a refund of what the hotel, of our purchase of the hotel, because they told us that that we can go to another hotel. They weren't going to give us a refund. They just basically spat in our faces and said to figure it out yourself. And
after 3 hours, 2.5 hours of being on the phone.
Yes, 2.5 hours of being on the phone, tired, hungry, just kind of want to close our eyes and forget this whole thing ever happened. And then, so we talk about it. Like, we could go elsewhere and spend probably twice as much.
For one room.
For one room. Because there's no way you're going to just go into a hotel and say, hey, I need 2 rooms right now. The weekend's coming.
And in San Antonio, it's a tourist attraction area.
It's a tourist attraction area because they have Six Flags, they have SeaWorld.
You got everybody coming out their house because COVID's.
Yes.
They're tired of being stir crazy, so it was probably the opening weekend for everything to open back up. Just it
was a nightmare.
It was a nightmare and a half.
It was a nightmare. So they bring a seat. The seat went into the tub, but the other half didn't touch the floor. Sorry, Zamunda.
The two legs on the outside.
Yes.
Were wobbly.
Mm-hmm.
So we tried to fix that.
And then, but that was the small one.
And they didn't have stoppers on the bottom of them.
So, yes. Which would have scratched up the floor. So I call down and explain, okay, do y'all have another chair? Number one, this is small. He needs a bigger chair. And number two, half of this chair doesn't have stoppers, so he's going to end up scratching your floor up. So they bring another chair, and we kind of mess around with it.
Trying to modify it to make it work. And I guess we got it to quit wobbling as much, but there was still a little wobble to it. I did almost fall.
Yes.
And I don't know how I would have got out of the tub at that point without having to call
Security
at least, yeah. Just it wasn't what we thought we was getting into.
No. And y'all, I'm gonna put the information if you find out that you okay, Brody? He was trying to get a bug.
He's tired of these dang bugs. He's glinting his teeth.
Oh, I see. Hey. Let's go to McDonald's. It's a happy place. Samunda's all, I'm gonna sleep. Okay.
On McDowell's.
And so, now, if you believe you just endured some type of discrimination or a place isn't wheelchair accessible, there's a link to call or to get in contact with for those who help with the laws with that. That's down in our description. I'll make sure that's down in all of our Heart of Texas TV videos, just in case you endure something different than we've endured. So we decided to stay in this room. You okay, Brody? And like the bed was slightly higher. What about the bed? Was it higher, baby?
It was a little high.
Oh yes.
If I didn't bring my longboard, I think I said it in the
Westgate
video. If I would have brought my shortboard to either one of these hotels, there's no way I would have been able to get onto the bed. That's how high these beds are. Just it wouldn't have worked if I would have brought my shortboard. That's it.
When I say we were all PO'd, we were all PO'd. Fine. Okay, so we say we're gonna stay in the hotel. Great. Okay. But still PO'd that I did not get my wheelchair accessible room. So we finally eat. We go down to some place, which was wheelchair accessible, may I add. And we made do with what we had. That's all we could have done. It was disappointing. upsetting. Like, y'all, if you don't have a wheelchair accessible room,
don't let it be the first thing you advertise on your website.
yes, like, I was so excited. I told my mom and my sister, look, they have a roll-in shower, which looks big enough for Garland. And my hopes went from here all the way down to the floor. Because you can't say you're wheelchair accessible and have a tub in a wheelchair accessible room.
It wasn't even a wheelchair accessible room. It was. You might have been able to classify that as a cane accessible.
Hearing impaired. That's what it. That's what they qualify it, because there's a.
Oh yeah, they did have a
doorbell.
Flashing. I don't know the correct word for it.
Like a doorbell. Like you push the doorbell and you.
And it makes noise and it flashes.
Yes.
Oh, also that didn't work either. The flashing didn't.
Yeah,
work.
the buzzing worked, but the flashing didn't work. So.
Also, I wouldn't recommend using that unless you're needing it, because
yeah, we don't.
It sounds like fire alarms going off.
Yeah, we don't recommend this hotel. Actually, I'm gonna let Garland explain it. Baby, I want to ask you one question.
Mm-hmm.
How wheelchair accessible was the Hampton Inn Suite San Antonio Downtown?
Not accessible at all. I would not bet money on it. I would definitely. I mean, there's no way that we could have done that if. I mean, what would have happened if we would have fallen, or, you know, I don't know, but.
I don't know either, baby. I just know if you are in a wheelchair, do not book this hotel. I'm gonna leave the address of the hotel in there in the bottom of the description, so that you know if you're going to San Antonio, please do not stay at this hotel. We had an awful experience.
And we will not be back.
We will not be back. We will definitely get something else if we're going to San Antonio again. So, y'all, thank you for watching.
And we'll see y'all next time. Until then, y'all be good and be safe.
And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll see y'all next time. We out!
Yeah.